Good, thank you. So, good morning, everybody. Your round table is going to be as the one that we practiced before. We're going to follow the same format. Right now, you have your moderator, which is Carlos, your topic about online education. You should have already established the roles, who's for, who's against, and structured the questions you're going to be working with the conversation. Starting right now, it's 11:24. You have 20 minutes, okay? To set up everything, the order, the structure, and then you can start, Carlos as the moderator, you can start your session at 11:44, okay? Everything is being recorded, so everything has to be done in English starting right now. Is it okay? Do we have any questions? Perfect. So set up your round table and you can start your activity at 11:44. If moderator decide that the activity can be taken place before that time, it's the moderator's decision, okay? And another thing, when we complete our roundtable activity, I will ask you to stay, okay? Go back to the main session. You can stop your recording then and go back to the main session because we need to talk about evidence 2 details, okay? Perfect. Good luck, guys. I will be coming in and out.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and participants, I'm thrilled to welcome to you today's roundtable discussion on online education will almost completely replace face-to-face education. To have a good development of this debate, it's necessary to mention the rules. The rule number 1 is offensive language and constant interruption are prohibited. The rule number 2 is strictly comply with the time limits assigned to each participant. The rule number 3 is have an environment where participants can debate and in a constructive, healthy, and respectful manner. And then last one, rule number 4, all participants must practice active listening, paying attention to the arguments of others and responding thoughtfully. Our goal to explore the positive and negative aspects of online education are recognized in advantage and address the advantage it has. Our team is conformed by Carlos Macias, Daphne Martinez, André Dupont, Ricardo Barraza, Dalero Orozco, Victor Aguilar, and Maria Paula, and Fernanda Cordero. Now we will going to ask for our questions for each topic, of which of the participants will have the opportunity to present their arguments and respond to their positions. Let's begin. The first question is online education capable of offering the same quality of learning face-to-face education? Who wants to start? Right now, it's gonna be the first place. 4 is gonna be 4. Who wants to start?
I think we need to invite the teacher in order to start arguing.
So we need to repeat?
No, I think from what I remember last debate, the teacher just came in whenever she wanted, but we recorded it by ourselves. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I remember.
Yes, teacher doesn't have to be here all the time. She's gonna just take a look and then go out and then to another roundtable.
So
I would like to start answering the question.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat you the question. Is online education accessible to all students? You have a maximum of 3 minutes to respond your answer.
I actually think online education is accessible to most students. Although stating that all students have access to online education is an impossible generalization, it is true that the majority do have access to this form of education. It is important to note that we are referring to the term online when we remain active on any communication network through the internet. In Mexico, INEGI stated that 68% of households do have internet access, and there is an annual growth of 12% in this figure. Also, it allows us to have geographical accessibility. Online education breaks down geographical barriers. In fact, a study by the US Department of Education found that online education is a viable option for students in rural areas who often have limited access to traditional education opportunities. The study also found that online students in rural areas were most likely to graduate from high school and college than their traditional counterparts.
Okay, so right now it's time to say against. Who wants to say something about this question against?
I would like to say something.
Okay, thank you.
If you hear outside noise, I'm sorry. It's school.
So don't worry about it.
Mhm. But I disagree with the statement of online education being accessible to all students for multiple reasons. For starters, the pandemic showed throughout its online classes the obstacle of different students struggling with bad internet connections or distractions like the one I'm having right now, depending on the area they're taking the class in. Reliable internet is something that sadly every student should have access to, but that's not the case. And this aspect can complicate the learning process of all the parties involved because the teacher has to constantly stop their class to check that everyone's paying attention, or the students that have good internet like are interrupted constantly, or those with bad connection can learn at a slower speed because the fluidity of the class ends up being constantly interrupted and changed and altered. So internet is one aspect as to why online education isn't accessible to all students, and also the fact that not everyone even has a computer or stuff like that. The other one is that we should also consider that in an hypothetical case that everyone has a good internet and a computer and is located at a good location, not every student shares the same learning method, because some people need to interact with others face to face for a better understanding of the subjects, or others could have a different learning process, like being kinesthetic or stuff, because that translates in the need of needing active movements or experiences to understand a topic. So online learning doesn't provide that, and it can alter the learning process of some students. And my final argument would be that it's been proven during the pandemic, as well as online classes that exist to this day, like this one, that an extended screen time or a lack of physical interaction between a student and the teacher, or the students between themselves, can lead to different consequences like procrastination, fatigue, and overall a decrease in the motivation to do their schoolwork. And these aspects can impact everyone, but especially those students that struggle constantly with their mental health or that are neurodivergent, because they can sadly end up living a negative learning experience, because these aspects could stop them from developing their full potential. And this shows up in their schoolwork because it ends up with students that are tired mentally. They end up having to handing the work just for the grade or to not fail the subject instead of fulfilling its learning purpose.
Okay, thank you so much, Dalal. Following, the second question is online education capable of offering the same quality of learning as face-to-face education? Who wants to start in 4?
Me.
Okay, thank you, Daphne.
I actually do think that online education is capable of offering the same quality of learning as face-to-face education. One example is the global resources and expertise. Online platforms grant access to a vast pool of educational resources and expertise from around the world. A study by the World Bank Foundation found out that the number of online courses offered by higher education institutions worldwide increased by 120% between 2012 and 2016. This suggests that there is a growing number of high-quality educational resources available online. Also, there is a study by the Open Education Consortium that found that there are over 12 million open educational resources available online, which are freely available to anyone, and they can be used to supplement or replace traditional textbooks and their educational materials. Also, when talking about flexibility and personalization, we found out that online education provides, in terms of schedule, more flexibility, allowing students to learn in their own speed. In fact, there is a study by the US Department of Education that found that the online students were more likely to feel that they had control over their learning experience than traditional students. This is likely due to the fact that online students are able to choose when and where they learn, as well as how they learn with the materials provided.
Okay, thank you so much, Daphne. Who wants to talk against this argumentation? Okay, you can
Me,
do
I
it.
would like to go against. So while Daphne makes valid points about the flexibility and access to global resources in online education, an argument against it revolves around the limited interactivity and engagement compared to a face-to-face learning. So basically, face-to-face education allows for a real life interaction between student and teachers, fostering dynamic discussions, immediate feedback, and collaborative learning experiences. And in a traditional classroom setting, students can ask questions, participate in group activities, and engage in face-to-face discussions, which promotes a deeper understanding of a matter of a subject. And while this interpersonal interaction contributes to a more immersive and socially enriching learning environment. On the contrary, online education may lack the same level of spontaneous interaction, while virtual discussions and forums can sometimes lack the immediacy and depth found in face-to-face conversations. Like, basically, the absence of physical presence may lead to a sense of isolation among students, potentially affecting their motivation and sense of community. Numerous studies like the impact of online learning on student engagement and outcomes by the Center of Research on Learning and Instruction at the University of Oregon found that online students were less engaged in their studies and had lower academic outcomes than traditional students. This suggests that the lack of face-to-face interaction can hinder certain aspects of the learning process, such as the development of social skills, critical thinking through in-person debates, and the ability to navigate real-world situations collaboratively. In addition, online courses may face challenges in replicating hands-on experiences, laboratory work, or practical training that are essential in certain fields of study. Like, I don't know, how could you imagine a doctor like only doing things online when everything is on practice? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria Fernanda. The three questions say, can online education replace the social and emotional interaction that occurs in the face-to-face education? Who wants to start against this question?
Me, Victor.
Okay, you can talk, Victor.
Okay. Well, hearing all the participants and according to the question, while online education offers undeniable advantages in terms of flexibility and accessibility, It falls short in replicating the depth for social and emotional interaction. This, as seen on the study conducted on the Akron Beach Journal, which surveyed 1,300 parents about how were students doing during online classes. And this study found that students were lacking they were falling behind in their classes, they were isolating, they were feeling depressed. This, meanwhile, in a traditional classroom, students not only engage with a course content, but also they form meaningful connections with peers and instructors. These interactions contribute significantly to personal growth and a well-rounded education. Now, let's consider a scenario where a student faces a challenging assignment, for example, a math problem. In face-to-face classrooms, this student has the immediate opportunity to approach the instructor, seek clarification, and engage in a real-time discussion with his classmates. This not only fosters a sense of community, but also enhances the emotional support system within the learning environment. And many students find that learning isn't just an intellectual activity, but a social one. And that explains why a number of students report missing in-person interaction with their instructors, also found in this study by the Akron Beacon Journal. Also, in contrast, an online platform may provide discussion forums and virtual office hours, but the experience lacks the spontaneity and richness of in-person exchanges. The ability to read nonverbal cues or share physical spaces and collaborate in real time with others uh, contributes to the holistic development of students and shaping not only their academic understanding, but also their social and emotional intelligence. And also, just to finish, the camaraderie formed during face-to-face interactions, whether through group projects, extracurricular activities, or casual conversations, creates a sense of belonging that is challenging to replicate virtually. And that is something that all humans seek. The shared experiences and emotional connections formed in traditional classrooms contribute significantly to the overall education journey, which in my view cannot be fully replaced by online education alone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor. Who wants to talk for?
Yeah, I would like to stand in favor because, well, online education may not replace all the social aspects of in-person learning, but it has its own strengths. Number one, meeting people worldwide. Online classes let you connect with students from different countries. This helps you learn about other cultures and work with people you might never meet in a regular classroom. Number two, talking and working together. Even though you're not in the same room, online classes have discussions and group objects. You can share ideas, have debates, and work on projects with your classmates. Another reason is like you are learning at your own pace. Online learning lets you go at your own speed. This can reduce stress and make learning more enjoyable. When you're comfortable, you're likely to feel better emotionally, including everyone. This is another reason that online classes can be good for students because you find it hard to be in regular classroom, like those with social anxiety or physical challenge. Everyone gets a chance to participate. And the last one, and most important, it prepares you for jobs. Online learning often includes projects that mimic real work situations. This helps you get ready for jobs where you may have to work with others online. While online learning might not be exactly like being in a classroom, it can still give you some great experience and skills that will help you in the future.
Okay, thank you so much, Andre. Passing to the last question. Is online education suitable for all education levels? Who wants to start talking against this question?
Me.
Okay,
Well, first of all, even though online education has many strengths, this opportunity isn't available for everyone. For example, online education needs technology, which is a significant issue in rural and lower socioeconomic neighborhoods. For having online classes, you need to have internet, and unfortunately is not universal. And in some areas, internet access poses as significant cost to the user. Not all students have the opportunity to have the internet, so for them, online school is not a good idea. So then, instruction and participation in the online program will not be equal for all students in the course. For example, in Mexico, only 68.5% of homes have access to the internet, and it observes that only out of every 10 rural households have a computer, and only 4 out of every 10 have an internet connection. Another issue can be teachers. If teachers are not properly trained in online delivery and methodologies, the success of the online program will be compromised. An online teacher must be able to compensate the lack of physical presence by creating a supportive environment in the virtual classroom where all students feel comfortable participating, and especially where students know that the teacher is accessible. It's important to recognize that some subjects should not be taught online because the electronic medium does not permit the best method of instruction. For example, a doctor, they need to learn how to do surgery. Another one is dental hygiene or sports, where physical movement is very important and practice contribute to the achievement of the learning objectives. Online education can be suitable for various educational levels, but its effectiveness depends on several factors, including the age of the student, the subject, and other important factors. For example, in primary education or elementary school, online education can be challenging for them because they are very young, who may require more hands-on and interactive learning experiences. In middle school and high school, where students are more grown up, online education can be suitable, but still needs human contact with other people. Online education may lead to a lack of face-to-face interaction with teachers and students, and can develop social skills. And sometimes students may feel isolated and lonely, especially if they're studying in a synchronous environment with our real life interactions.
Okay, thank you so much, Maria. Who wants to say something for this question?
Well, me. Well, I have, in my opinion, the online education can be considered suitable for all educational levels, and there are several arguments in favor of some suitable. Global access. The online education eliminates geographic barriers and allows students around the world to access high-quality educational resources, significant expanding learning opportunities. Well, and generally flexibly, online educations allow the students to learn at their own pace, and they adapt to students currently according for their needs. This is especially beneficial for those with work commitment, family or other responsibilities. Variety of contents. There is a wide range of online courses and programs that cover almost academic disciplines. The students have access to a variety of resources and experts in the field of the more diverse than those available in traditional education settings. And the personalized learning and the online educations allow for easier adaptation to individual learning styles. And the students can review the material at their own pace and delve deeper in the areas of interest, and they receive personalized feedback. And the cost reduction is in many cases, online education can be more affordable and due to the elimination of cost association with physical infrastructure, such as the classroom and the accommodation. This can make education more accessible to a broader audience. The technology and the innovative tools only the education often leverage technology to deliver interactive and immersive educational experience. They use multimedia tools, simulation, and collaborative platforms to learn process. Constant content update in rapidly evolving fields such as technology and science. Only education allows for constant update of content to reflect the most recently advanced. And the only education can be more inclusive for people with the disabilities or in circumstances that make it difficult to access physical educational institutions. And it's
Thank you so much, Ramon. Somebody else wants to say something about it?
Yes, I want to add something. I want to add something to what Maria Paula said and also answer to Ramon. While online education undeniably offers global connection and variety of content, its suitability for all educational levels may be limited. Younger students, especially those in primary education, often benefit significantly from hands-on experiences, social interaction, and the guidance from a physical instructor. The personalized attention and immediate feedback provided in traditional settings contribute to foundational learning, which may be challenging to replicate in a fully online format. Additionally, the digital divide and access to technology pose potential barriers, impacting the equitable implementation of online education across diverse educational levels.
Thank you so much, Victor. So as we'll be seen in this debate, aspects that may be against in favor of online education will almost completely replace face-to-face education we're mentioning. Important points we're seeing, and it was commented whether online education capable of offering the same quality of learning as face-to-face education. If it is also accessible to all students, if can replace the social and emotional aspects that exist in face-to-face education, and above all, if it can be included in all education levels. For conclusion, after hearing the different positions and arguments, I want to thank all participants for your valuable arguments. They were truly important and well given. They were also a great contributions to our discussion table. And also thank the participants for having taken a respectful attitude towards their participants. So this is all for us. Thank you so much.